Hi, it's Chris from Chris Loves Crochet, and would you like to learn how to make a simple, cozy unisex sweater shrug? Well, hang out with me and we will see how to do it. This one has an interesting little back, and I'll show you where I got that pattern from, and then how to make this really simple sweater. So hang in there. I'll be right back. So here's the first step of making my shrug. It is for a friend, and I showed in a previous whips video. Hello, Leo. Get off of there. This centerpiece. And so what I like to do when I make these shrugs is to find a nice like 12 to 15 inch square that I can make that's unique, and then just grow it out from there, the colors that I want to do. Hello, Leo. Hello, Leo. And so I just soaked it, and then now I'm letting it get off of there. Now I'm letting it dry and shape, so I'm blocking it, is what that's called. And I soaked it in this is my favorite. It's called Rapture. I don't know if we can get it from anyone other than Kristen Amdahl. She has a wonderful YouTube site, or channel. This is great stuff. It smells so good. This one that I have is jasmine, and it smells so good. And what I love about it is that you soak things and then you don't have to rinse them. So I just soaked it in, this time I just soaked it in the washing machine and then put it on spin. I didn't even rinse it. So I did, because I love the way it smells. So now I'm gonna, so the measurement on this square, on this big square, before I shape it into a shrug, is about 38 inches squared. So then I'm gonna unpin it, and I'm gonna, I'll show you how I'm going to sew it together. Hello, Leo. Here, we'll give Lucy some screen time too. Hi, Lucy. Are you scared of the rain? It's storming here. Okay, anyway, I'll get on to the next step. All right, so the next thing we do is we take it, and you can't see the whole thing. I'm just holding this. I'm sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. And we fold it in half. Now I'm folding it right side together so that the wrong side is facing, because I'm going to be stitching it. And so what you want to do to make the arms, after you make this big square, and I know I didn't use the long rods to do the blocking, and so I have some of these little points as we go along, but it's okay, because I'm going to continue to crochet along the edges and borders and make some arms, and continue to crochet around the front, so it's okay. So we fold it halfways like that, and then we take some, where did I put them? So I'm kneeling here on this mat that I got a really good deal on it. It's the letters play mat for a kid. That's what I use for my blocking, and it's great because you can make it lots of different sizes. So what you want to do is to take, here's the corner where it folds over, and then you get your measuring tape. I already have it set up so that I can do it one-handed, and go about 8 to 10 inches depending upon how large you're making this. This I'm making for a man, about a medium for a man. So I'm going to go up about 10 inches from the corner. Here's the fold. So I'm going to go up about 10 inches and mark it with a stitch marker, and do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go between, try to do this with one hand and not get the the measuring tape in there. Okay, all right, so there we go. So what I'm going to do is, this now becomes the armhole. So I'm going to do it on this side too. Oh. And I'm going to go back and count the number of clusters as well. of 3 in this little modern granny. Go up about 10 inches to about here and hook that together so I can show you the shape of it. And that leaves me down here with about 7.5 inches down to the fold, which is the armhole. So if I can put in, give me just a second. Okay, so now I put in the stitch markers here too to hold together the corners where I folded, and on this side where I folded, stitched them together. And then down here is the 10 inches down, and this is the like 7-8 inches for the armhole. So now what you do is pull it down like this, so that those 2 places where you, or 4 places where you stitched, so I can do this. No, you can't really see what I'm doing. Are open. That. So you can kind of see how it's coming together. This is inside out. But here is where the arm kind of comes this way, and then the hand comes out there. So I'm going to stitch from this marker to this marker, and from this marker to this marker, and then I will have something to work with. And then I'll stitch around this armhole here and create a little bit of a sleeve, not much, it's a shrug. It's just to wear around the house. And then stitch around here, and then stitch around the opening itself. Probably 3 to 4 double crochet rows on each of those places. So I will show you when I get a little bit further, probably when I stitch it together, and we can turn it right side out and see what we're working with. Okay. All right, so I finished sewing up the sides where I had marked. You can see I sewed up here, and on this side too I sewed up here. And what I did was, I didn't really sew, I crocheted. I used a slip stitch and just used the back loops only, and slip stitch from stitch marker to stitch marker. So let me flip it inside out, and you can see what the seam looks like. So there's the seam, which I kind of like that. And let me put it on my mannequin, and you can see how it drapes, and you can see where we're going from here. Okay, hang on. Okay, so there she is, my mannequin with a men's sweater on her. And it's hard to see because she doesn't have any arms. On my mannequin has no arms. But if she did, then they'd be hanging out right here. So here you can see the seam, sort of, right here. And a little piece of fluff. And so what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to show you the whole thing here. So there's the front of it, and this is before we've added the additional crochet rows. So you can see, back up a little bit, there's the back. I just love the way those fun squares stand out like that. So now you can kind of see where the arms are, and so I'm going to add about 3, maybe more on the arms than just a few rows. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what strikes me. But as I add around the front, I'm also adding along the bottom, because it's all one piece. So as I go along the front, I'll be coming around the bottom and making it a little bit longer. So I don't know if you can see that There you go. And here's the front again. So it'll be adding more to the front here, so it'll close. Not that, you know, the man has the breast to go over, but it'll close, and it'll be comfy cozy. And so we'll see what it looks like when it's done, and I'll tell you what I did. Okay. All right, so here is the finished sweater, and you can see that I added a few rows here. I did a double crochet in the back loops only, and then I did 2 rounds of trebles, and then a round of half doubles in the back loops only, just to give it a little bit of texture there at the front. On the arms, what I did was 4 rows of, well, first I did a single crochet around, and then I did 4 rows of front post double crochet, and then back post double crochet, front post, back post, front post, back post, just to give it that look, that cuff look. So I did that on both sides for both of these, and added some to the length, you can see, and added enough for the collar to fold over. And this is, like I said, for a male friend of mine, and I've made these sweaters, these really easy shrug sweaters for both for men and women, and they've both enjoyed them just as well. So it's pretty much a unisex. It just kind of depends on what colors you use. And this friend of mine is a huge orange fanatic, so we made this out of orange. And so once again, there's the back, and you can see the turned down collar and that back square. And like I said, I like to find something fun to put on the middle of these in the back, and then grow from there. It not only keeps it from being so boring to me, you get to do something kind of fun and creative, and then you build out with any kind of granny or any kind of stitch that you want to make it into that square. And then, like I showed you, fold it over and create the, you get to see my whole room, the whole thing. So I got the square out of this book, and I know I've shown it to you before, and so that square there came out of here, and there it is right there. So it has the whole written, I can't show you that, and then it has that whole thing there. So so I used a sweet roll root beer pop or something like that to do that. So I didn't change any yarn or anything. That was just the way the color changing, the striping yarn from the sweet roll. Karen? Is it Karen? Sweet roll? To do that. And then I got the pattern from this book, the complete photo guide. I think it's only in the 2nd edition, that one. And so this is the 2nd edition complete photo guide to crochet by Hubert, the 2nd edition. I made one for me using, oh, showed it to you too much. I am just everywhere. Okay. Using this square, and then I had to then use my own creativity to make it into an actual square to then grow upon. And this is what I used for a sweater that I kept. And I did not do it in a single color. I did it again with a striping yarn, and then the rest of the sweater was a solid. You could do it the other way around. You could do a solid for the square and then a striping yarn for the rest of the sweater. Just something like that, which would let the sweater really, or let the square really stand out from the rest of the sweater. So anyway, that's what I've got for you today, is a unisex comfy shrug. And there it is. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you learned something from this, and I appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you like. And remember, we always have a choice, so please choose happy. Yay. Thanks. Bye.